So Billy Napier has become the head football coach at JMU. I got so many thoughts about this, and I don't want to come off negative. But I've never really, college football is such a leeching business. This move by Billy Napier is why people call him G5 Billy. This move by Billy Napier is so thirsty. I don't blame him. I think this is what he should do. He's got to go rebuild his career. It's just interesting to me how the coaches aren't necessarily coaching for building young men. That just happens to be something that they do in the process. These coaches are coaching because they love football, they love the business of football, and they want the opportunity to be the Nick Saban of football, of college football, that is. That's why these coaches are doing this. This move, this hire, gives Billy Napier a much better opportunity to get to the college football playoffs. It gives him a better opportunity to make a name for himself again, to try to wipe off the stench. The stink. Let's just go with that right now, because for whatever reason it's not rolling off the tongue for me. It gives him an opportunity to wipe off the stench, the stank of what he did at the University of Florida, what he didn't do, what he wasn't able to do. I just started watching this documentary on Netflix, by the way. Have you guys heard of the SEC Any Given Saturday situation? The SEC football Any Given Saturday? It was about last season in particular, and it's hard to watch. Billy Napier is hard to watch. He had an opportunity at the University of Florida that, crazy enough, many men have had now, and many men have failed now. And it trips me out how much the University of Florida kind of comes off like the University of Michigan. It's a bit trippy to me how relatable those two programs kind of are. Let me continue. This opportunity, this job, JMU and Billy Napier, this is going to give him another opportunity to be the head coach at a university where, to be honest, he does not deserve to be. Billy Napier should be a G5 head coach. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that either. I really wish that there was a lot less shame in that. I really wish a lot more of these coaches just understood, this is my ceiling, man. This is me right here. Billy's the type of guy who comes off to me as somebody who puts more food on his plate than he can actually eat. His appetite seems to be a bit bigger than his stomach is. Because I don't know what in the hell possessed him to want to coach at the University of Florida. Maybe he just wanted to see what was possible, what he might be able to do. Maybe that's what it was. But you can't come over there and coach these guys just because you've been successful at another program. Which trips me out about Scott Strickland, because now that makes me feel like your evaluation process is skewed. You're looking for something weird. You're looking for something strange. You're looking for something that has nothing to do with the success of this program. You're looking for something that really more so had something to do with somebody's success at their last program. Sometimes I believe we do reach our level. There's this book I read a long time ago. I'm going to find it. It was a very good read. It was called The Peter Principle, and it talked about how certain people get moved up beyond their actual skill set, their actual level, simply because they were successful at what they were doing. If you were successful at what you were doing, you needed to have been paid more. Louisiana Lafayette should have said, man, we've never had a coach like Billy Napier. We can't let him get out of here. Billy, tell us what they're offering you. We'll get that for you. But Billy's got that big old appetite. So he decided to come on to the University of Florida like he was that guy. I mean, you got to have that kind of mindset. You got to believe that you're that guy, but...
Come here. You're not that guy, pal.
I'm watching him in that documentary, that Netflix documentary. It's not him. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the words. He doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the aura. Billy Napier would make an amazing recruiter. I believe he would probably make an amazing athletic director. He's not a very good football coach. He's not. You come to the SEC, every single game matters, dog. We got Tennessee this week, and then we got Alabama next week, and then we got Auburn, and then we got Missouri, and then we got Vanderbilt, and then we got Kentucky, and then we got South Carolina, and then we got Georgia, That's a gauntlet. That's a gauntlet. That's nothing like a G5 coach when you're playing against University of Middle Tennessee State this week, and then next week you're playing against Old Dominion, and then the week after that you're playing against the Air Force, and then the week after that you're playing against FIU, and then the week after that you're playing against UConn, and then the week after. So you have a schedule like that, and then you come onto the SEC. That means you're going to have to heighten your ability to coach on. It's got to be so much bigger and better than anything you did before, to the point where honestly, the G5 coach who comes up to the ranks, they probably needed to have been undefeated, if you ask me. Undefeated or one loss at the most. Because there needs to be proof that you're able to recreate that energy. Week in and week out, you're able to get your guys ready to play constantly. It can't even just be somebody who won a championship in your conference. No, you gotta have you need to have done it in a way that was just it's undeniable. It's undeniable. It's so undeniable, we gotta come see if you can do it over here. If Billy Napier is successful at JMU, there'll be no other proof that you need of how challenging it genuinely is in the SEC. Because if he's successful at JMU, it'll show you just how different these conferences really are. Because we've seen how he coaches at the University of Florida. We've seen how he has made these 5-star athletes look like they were all walk-on recruits. Every single one of them, except for maybe Jaden Ball, looked like walk-on recruits. Dallas Wilson didn't look like a walk-on recruit, but he couldn't stay healthy enough to really evaluate him and really know what we genuinely have. But you can't take away how good Billy Napier was at recruiting. I look at these numbers. I saw this post right here. It says Billy Napier by the numbers. His career record as a head coach is 62-35. That's not good. That's not good. If we break that down further, we're looking at 31 wins to 17 and a half losses. Every single 3 games you have, you win 2 and then you lose 1. And we all know that his record became what it became at the University of Florida. Because before he got to the University of Florida, that record probably looked a lot better. But all he did at Florida was lose. He didn't have a single winning season at the University of Florida. Maybe the year that we went to the Gasparilla Bowl and we played against Tulane. I have to actually look that game up because if I'm not mistaken, that might have been Billy Napier versus John Summerall, which is wild. Look at this. His record at Louisiana Lafayette in 4 seasons was 40-12. I mean, that's acceptable. That means you were going 10-3. It might get you to the playoffs. It might get you to the college football playoffs. But Louisiana Lafayette is not the University of Florida. Now, this is where he succeeds right here. This is where he shines. 20 NFL draft selections as a head coach. And if you ask me, it could have been and should have been more. 20. And he had 4 seasons at Louisiana Lafayette, 4 seasons at the University of Florida. And you got 20 in 8 years. Sounds good. But ultimately, what is that? Like 2 to 3 a year type? 2 to 3 a year? Nah, man. Not for the amount of 5-star recruits that you were getting at the University of Florida. Should have been about. This year in the mock drafts we're looking at, there's about 3 different guys from Ohio State that are being projected to go in the top 10. 3 in the top 10. I'm not crazy about Billy Napier in any way, shape, or form. I don't like him. I don't think he's good at his job. I find him as somebody who is a leech in this sport, and he's going to go to JMU because he's going to leech off of this season's success. He's going to go leech off of what Chesney and them just did this year. And so he's hard to watch. He's very hard to stomach, but the game is the game, and these guys, these coaches, they know that the game is the game, and they're playing it too, and they're playing it just as hard, if not harder, than the actual athletes. So I wish him success because I want it to be clear as day just how challenging it is in the SEC. So interesting. All these jobs were open. All these jobs is open now. UCLA, Oklahoma State was open. Hell, Tulane was open. Ole Miss was open. I can go on. And I'll try to. Off the top of my head, Auburn was open. Michigan just opened. Penn State was open. How come Billy Napier's name wasn't coming up for Penn State? It's because he's not a good coach. He's not a coach that people genuinely believe can change their program. Anyways, guys, if you got any value out of this video, I genuinely appreciate you for rocking with me. I'm working on building this channel. It's my goal to hit 10,000 subscribers. It was my goal to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That's not going to happen. But got to have goals. So now that 10,000 is for next year. By this time, I'm looking forward to having 10,000 subscribers next year. I hope I blow that out the water. And I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me all year. And, whoever started with me last year to this year, I appreciate you. And I'm going to keep on building. Right now, this is just a show that I'm just doing, a podcast I'm doing right here from my apartment. This is my self-tape wall. But I'm looking forward to continuing to build what I'm doing here. I'm looking forward to starting a couple other channels. And I'm looking forward to being more consistent and to continuing to dive into sports media, sports journalism, and seeing where it takes me. Thank you again for whoever's been rocking with me. And if you got to this part of the video, would appreciate it if you decided to subscribe. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Peace.